Hello, and welcome to the Springfield Public Library's teen production of The Monkey's Paw, originally by W. W. Jacobs. Setting: the White family's home in a newly developed English suburb around 1920. Scene 1. A dark and stormy winter night. The sound of heavy rain can be heard and an occasional thunderclap. The Whites' living room is cozy and bright. Mr. White and Herbert play chess, while Mrs. White knits by the fire. Herbert is winning.
Not looking too good for you, is it, Dad?
Could you please be quiet? I'm trying to concentrate. Listen to that wind howling out there.
I hear it.
He won't show up in a storm like this, I bet.
Maybe, maybe not. Check! Mate!
That's why I can't stand living out in the middle of nowhere like this. Every time it rains, the road gets flooded and no one can get out here. And what do those politicians in town do about it? Nothing! I suppose our 3 votes just don't count.
Never mind, dear. Maybe you'll win next game. Oh, who is that knocking at the door?
Sounds like he made it after all.
I'll let him in. Hello, Sergeant Major Morris. Let me introduce my wife. And this is my son, Herbert. Glad you made it. We didn't know if you'd come out in a storm like this.
Storm? This little shower? You wouldn't think much of this if you've ever been holed up in Bombay during the monsoon season. Now, there are some storms, let me tell you.
Did you live in India a long time, Sergeant Morris?
21 years he's been gone. When he joined up with the army, he wasn't a day older than Herbert there. And neither was I, for that matter. We started out in the warehouse together.
Well, time flies. Time flies.
But you must have all kinds of great stories to tell. The places you saw, the people you met.
Does he ever? What was that story you started telling me the other day, Morris? About a monkey's paw or something?
Nothing really. Nothing worth hearing.
A monkey's paw?
Well, it's just a bit of what you might call magic, I guess.
Magic.
Here, I have it in my pocket. It looks like an ordinary little paw, all dried up.
What's so special about it? Let me see.
It had a spell put on it by an old holy man. He wanted to show that fate ruled people's lives, and that anyone who tried to interfere with fate would be sorry. He put a magic spell on the paw so that 3 people could each have 3 wishes from it.
Well, why don't you wish on it then?
I have.
And did you really have your 3 wishes granted?
I did.
And has anyone else wished on it?
The first owner had 3 wishes, yes. I don't know what the first 2 were for, but the third was for death. And that's how I got the paw.
If you've had your 3 wishes, that thing's no good to you now then, Morris. What do you keep it for?
No good reason, I guess. I did have some idea of selling it, but I don't think I will. It caused enough trouble already. Besides, no one will buy it. Some people think it's just a fairy tale. And the ones who do think anything of it want to try it first and pay me afterwards.
If you could have 3 wishes, would you use them?
I don't know. You know, I really should just throw it in this fire.
Hey!
Better let it burn.
If you don't want it, Morris, give it to me.
I won't. I wanted to throw it on the fire. If you keep it up, if you keep it, don't blame me for what happens. If you're smart, you'll throw it in the fire.
No, I'm keeping it. How do you use it?
Hold it in your right hand and wish out loud. But I'm warning you, you won't like the consequences.
Sounds like the Arabian Nights. Why don't you wish for a few extra pairs of hands for me?
I wish
If you must wish, for heaven's sake, wish for something sensible. But wait until after I'm gone. I don't want to be here to see it.
The four sit down and eat supper, the monkey's paw forgotten for the moment. The whites listen eagerly to more of Morris's adventures. After supper, Morris rises. Mr. White accompanies him to the door and they say their goodbyes. And Mr. White returns to the fireside and sits down.
Well, Morris is quite a storyteller. For a minute there, he almost had me believing the one about the monkey's paw.
Did you give that disgusting thing back to him?
I tried to, but he wouldn't take it. And he told me again to get rid of it.
Get rid of it and give up our chance of being rich, famous, and happy? Wish to be an emperor, Dad. To start off with, then Mom can't boss you around.
Thanks a lot.
I don't know what to wish for, and that's a fact. Looking at the two of you, it seems to me I've got all I want already.
You'd like to pay off the mortgage, though, wouldn't you? Well, wish for £200 then. That'll do it.
This is ridiculous. But no harm trying, I suppose. I wish for £200. It moved. When I wished, it twisted in my hand like a snake.
Well, I don't see the money, and I bet I never will.
Dear, you must have imagined it.
I felt it move. Never mind, though. I'm all right. I don't know why we listened to that nonsense. How could wishes be granted in real life? And if they could, how could £200 hurt you anyway?
It could drop on its head from the sky.
Morris said that things happen so naturally that you might think it was a coincidence.
Well, I've had enough of magic and fate and monkey's paws for one night. It's time for bed.
Well, good night then. You'll probably find the money tied up in a big bag in the middle of your bed, Dad. And some horrible creature squatting on top of the dresser, watching you as you pocket your ill-gotten gain.
Scene 2. The next afternoon. The sun shines into the living room. Mr. and Mrs. White are drinking tea and sorting through the day's mail. The paw lies on the shelf, ignored.
Plenty of bills so far, but no check for £200. I suppose Herbert will have more of his funny remarks when he gets home from the factory.
I'm sure he will. But the thing moved in my hand. I'd swear to that.
You thought it did.
It did. There was no thought about it. I had just... What is it? What's that noise?
There's somebody outside, a man in a business suit. I've never seen him before. He's acting very strange, as if he can't decide whether to open the gate or not. Here it comes up the path now. I'll let him in.
I was asked to come see you. I came from Ma and Megan's, where your son works.
Is anything wrong? Has something happened to Herbert? What is it? What is it?
Now, calm down. No point jumping to conclusions. I'm sure our visitor hasn't brought us any bad news.
I'm sorry.
Is he hurt?
Badly hurt. But he's not in any pain.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness for that. No! No! You can't mean...
He was caught in the machinery.
Caught in the machinery. Yes. He was our only child, you know. It's hard.
The company wants me to convey their sincere sympathy with you in your great loss. I hope you understand that I'm just doing my job. I'm supposed to tell you that Ma and Megan's disclaim all responsibility. They admit no liability, but in consideration to your son's work, they would like to give you a certain sum of compensation.
A certain sum. How much?
£200.
Scene 3, nighttime, a week and a half later. Mrs. White stands in the doorway, weeping as she looks out into the darkness. Mr. White comes downstairs. He goes to her and closes the door, then puts his arms around her.
Come back to bed. It's cold out there tonight.
Colder for my son. The paw. The monkey's paw.
What? Where?
I want it. You didn't get rid of it, did you?
It's upstairs, I think. Why?
I only just thought of it. Why didn't I think of it before? Why didn't you think of it?
Think of what?
The other 2 wishes. We've only had one.
Wasn't that enough?
No, we'll have one more. Go get it down and wish our boy alive again.
You're insane.
I want my son back. I want to see my son.
You don't know what you're saying.
We had the first wish granted. Why not the second?
It was a coincidence.
Go and get it and wish.
He's been dead 10 days. Besides, I didn't want to tell you this, but I could only recognize him by his clothes. He was mangled in the machinery. If he was too terrible for you to see then, how would it be now?
Bring him back. Do you think I would fear my own son?
The two go up the stair slowly. Mr. White takes the paw in his hand.
Wish.
It is foolish and wicked.
Wish.
I wish my son alive again.
What's that?
A mouse. It's just a mouse in the wall.
It's Herbert. It's our son. I must let him in.
No, dear. What are you going to do?
It's Herbert. What are you holding me for? Let me go so I can open the door.
Don't let it in.
How can you be afraid of your own son? Let me go. I'm coming, Herbert. Give me a minute to get to the door. I'm here. I'm right here.
As she struggles with the lock, Mr. White falls to his knees. He picks up the monkey's paw from the floor and holds it in his right hand. His lips move, but we can't hear him over the thunderous knocking. He drops the paw, and at once the knocking stops. And the door springs open. There is a pause, and then a long, loud wail from Mrs. White.
Beyond her.
Beyond her.
Beyond her.
Beyond her, the road was empty.
Hi, I'm Eleanor, and in today's production, I played Mr. White.
Hi, I'm Maggie, and I played Mrs. White.
Hi, I'm Phaedra, and in today's production, I starred as Herbert, their son.
Hi, I'm Brayden, and I played Sergeant Major Morris and also the monkey's paw.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and I play as a stranger.
And I'm Cara, and I was your narrator today. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good day.